Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today I have a really exciting pull request that we're going to review and hopefully merge. So I just started looking at it, but I'm excited. There's a lot of awesome things that are done in this pull request, but I think I'm probably most excited about the use of React hooks. So if you don't know what hooks are, hopefully you'll know a little bit more about them by the end of this stream. This is going to be kind of a short stream. I just want to try to get through this pull request and merge it, test it out, and then we'll probably finish up with some question and answer. Got started a little bit later this morning, so let's get right into it. So the first thing we're going to do is read a little bit about pull requests. I'm not going to read it out loud, but we're just going to kind of review. Shout out to Chris Brownie55 for this amazing pull request. So let's just do a quick overview. We'll check out what's changed in the files, and then we'll pull it down as a separate branch, test it out locally a little bit. Okay, so some of the changes here, like I said, I just started to look at this, so this is all going to be fresh. We're going to be looking at this together. So he put in use reducer, so we're not going to clutter the component with a lot of state, so that's cool. Logic is now in the reducer, and it's in a separate file. Okay, we got some stuff in here to avoid re-rendering, which is good. It's performance enhancing, right? An object match do not replace switch statement. Oh, cool. So we got rid of that switch statement. I mean, I love switch statements, but they are quite long sometimes, so that's cool. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Another replace switch statement, very cool. Random number generator. Okay, cool. So we could set a minimum maximum number. Awesome. Values of hooks from this, you should experiment with React Dev tools. Okay, cool. So alright, so hooks has changed some stuff in DevTools, and Chris is recommending that we switch to this experimental version of DevTools. That does look really cool, so I'll probably do that. I don't know if I'll get to that in this stream, but thank you for the advice there. Also, a Prettier Config. I love this. So I usually do something like this in all my projects, and I have auto formatting. I hadn't gotten around to setting it up, so I'm super excited about this. At some point, we'll probably set up like Husky to do some automated formatting on commit, but this is really awesome. So thank you for that. All right, now let's check out the files. In case you don't know how I got to this point, I just went to the Battle Math repository on GitHub. The link's in the description, and I just clicked on pull requests, and then this was the first pull request in there, right? So we also have an issue that I think I made that issue. I think it was just a README or something. So now, first thing you see is this. Now I'm going to go to the actual files changed, so we can see the changes. Actually, let me switch it to split. Okay. So I like viewing it like a split. So on the left-hand side, it'll show you your files now as they are, and on the right-hand side, it'll show you what the files will be like if you merge this pull request, right? So there was no Prettier Config before, that's why there's nothing here. So now we have this. It has no semicolons, use single quotes, a tab with two, which is awesome. That's how I roll. We have significant reduction in the amount of code here. Look at that. I love that. So all the red is stuff that's going away, so it's been deleted, and green is stuff that's been added. So look at that. So much is going to be gone out of that app.js file. It's going to be much easier to figure out what's going on, like in terms of like layout. So now we do have use reducer, use callback, use effect. These are those hooks, right? Or, I mean, this is not all the hooks, but like this is coming from the React hooks, which we'll talk about more. All right, and we also have this app reducer component now, and we're pulling in state, a reducer, and types from there. So that's awesome. Let's scroll down. I love that. Okay. Okay, so we have some additions now too, right? So let's go through this and try to figure out what's going on. It's always good to try to figure out what's going on before you attempt to merge a pull request, right? You never want to merge a pull request that you don't understand. Number one, like somebody could be trying to mess with you and mess up your project, which I've never ever had happen, but it's possible. Number two, you still have to be responsible for maintaining your own project, and if you don't understand how your project works, then how are you going to maintain it, right? So, also notice I did move the view of my face up, so we had some people say that it was being blocked by a watermark, freeCodeCamp watermark. So hopefully that's better. Let me know what you think about that. Does this work for you? Is it blocking too much? Let me know. So, all right. So inside of our app, have we moved to a functional component here? I believe we have. Okay. So number one, we moved to a functional component, which is awesome. I keep saying like number one, number two, and stuff. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm just talking in lists. So use reducer. Okay, so we're pulling out answer number of enemies. So this is all our state, right? So we're making our state available from our reducer. All right, so this is what Chris was talking about when we're preventing rendering, right? So that's awesome. These are very helpful comments. So thank you, Chris. So memoization. If you're not familiar with memoization, basically it's. All right, think of it almost like caching for like a function, right? Hopefully that makes sense, right? So it's not. Not memorization, which it kind of sounds like, but memoization. So it'll basically save us. In this case, it saves us from rendering something if the result is going to be exactly the same anyway, right? Why re-render it? Let's see. Handle mode picker. Use callback dispatch. Cool, and notice like all these are not, right, we need to set, we need to do all of our state changes and everything in our reducer file, right? So now we're not directly doing like set state or anything like that. We're all using this, this dispatch, right? So we're going to look at the next file that we'll see is that dispatch file. So hopefully this will make more sense, but right, when we handle answer change, it's going to dispatch. Basically, everything we're doing now is going to dispatch. Same way with submit. We now have theme. Actually, we had that before. I put that in last time, didn't I? Okay. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, this is cool. So this is the equivalent of component did mount for a functional component. So it's use effect. Awesome. That's going to give us a new problem on component the component loading component did mount, right? Okay, so this should probably be pretty much the same. I think Chris added a key, so I think I remember a mention of that, so that's awesome. You do get a warning in the console if there's no key on like iterated elements. And all right, cool. Now here is the new stuff, like most of the new stuff. This app-reducer.js file. So every time we see this export, that means like we can basically have access to that. So you see it matches up with that random number generator that we had access to in app.js. We have access to the types, our reducer, right? So anytime you see that, like we can basically use that in other files and import it. All right, so now we have this random number generator that allows us to have a min and a max, which is awesome. So this will come in handy too, like if we want to add modes where you could do double-digit numbers, then we want to set the minimum to a double-digit number, right? So that's pretty sweet. All right, so now we have our types, which, let's see, these look like they're all are kind of actions, right? Export function. Here's our reducer, right? So we do have our types. This is actually very reminiscent of like Redux style. So if you've done Redux, this is very similar. All right, so if we want to set an answer, right, then we're returning the state. So this is this means when you see this ... state, that means we're going to take the current state as it is and merge it with this. So the rest of the state will remain unchanged except for answer, right? And then our action payload, which is whatever we've passed into that, meaning the answer that's been typed in, is going to come in here. So that's cool. And it's the same way for for like add an enemy. So you can see still some familiar, right? Like we're not going to add any more than 6 enemies, right? But you see this is basically just changing your state, right? Alright, so let's skip down because some of these are pretty much the same. I'm going to check the answer. Okay, so we're using eval here, which normally you don't want to use eval, but Chris is explaining that eval is safe because we control the input. Okay, so that's cool. Let's see. Yes, to save. Cool. This is really cool. Update problem. So I'm just looking at this. I'll point out some stuff that's like really different. You can see here we're still just taking our actions and just basically updating state. All right, like we were before. All right, but now this has all been abstracted out, right? And now it's in our app reducer component. The same way, set mode, invalid action type. Oh, cool. And now we have an error. So this was a big switch statement, right? And the default case for the switch is what happens when something is a value is passed that doesn't need any of the other cases, right? So now we have an error invalid action, which that's pretty cool. Okay, and then here's our initial state, which looks just like our state did look, right? All right, here's our operators. So that is really awesome. So next step is let's pull this down, verify that everything works, and then maybe we'll merge it. So let's see. I want to make sure I stay on top of the chat here. So let me, now that we've kind of gone through the step 1, I'm going to go to the chat just for a minute here and answer a few questions, and then we'll pull this down and test it out. RabbitWorks JavaScript says, are hooks available in React Native as a production feature? I didn't think they were mature enough yet. Yes, so as of React Native version 0.0 59.0, hooks are available in React Native. So the current latest version as of yesterday was 0.59.1. So if you update React Native to the latest version, you can use hooks. That's a good question. It did take a little while for hooks to come out for React Native after they had come out for regular React. But I think it wasn't too long to wait. I just kept checking. Like, I was watching the thread, the GitHub, I guess, issue that was talking about it, so I knew exactly when they were coming out. I was pretty excited about it. All right. Gaming with us underscore YT says, I am just 11 years old and learned complete HTML, PHP, and SQL. That's awesome. Keep up the good work. You're going to be, by the time you get to be my age, you're going to be a genius in web development. Let's see. All right, I'm skipping over some stuff. There's some good comments in there, and of course, anybody watching can read along with the chat. But I'm just looking for questions right now, just to kind of keep things going quickly. What language? Okay, what language do you think is better for server side, PHP or Go? I've used PHP before. I've never used Go. To be honest with you, if you're going to ask me what my favorite server-side language is, I'm going to say Node, so JavaScript. But that's because I'm most comfortable coding with that, right? So that's not that's a very that response is very much based on my experience and not anything objective. Let's see. All right, cool. I think I got through the questions. If I missed your question, like, go ahead and repost it, and I'll try to get to it on the next round through. Let me make note of where I left off at. 8:48. 48. Okay. Let's go back to this, and I'm gonna double check the syntax. It's been a little while since I've actually had to pull down a pull request from GitHub, so let me think. Test API locally. Let's see if that comes up. Checking out pull request locally. Let's see if this is what I want. There we go. Git fetch origin pool ID. Okay. Git fetch origin pool ID. Where's the ID? The ID's 2. Okay. So let's do git fetch origin pool. I already forget the rest of it. Git fetch origin pool. Okay, there's slash ID /head branch name /ID oops, not /2 oops head, and we can name the branch whatever we want it to. It doesn't have to be the name of the branch currently for that pull request. So I'm just going to name this one Chris Hooks. Okay. Since Chris submitted the pull request, and the most exciting thing to me out of here is the hook, so let's see. Yay. All right, awesome. Now we can do a git checkout. And we have the Chris Hooks branch. Let's do yarn just to make sure. Okay, so sorry, that was hard to see. Right, so always do yarn just to make sure you have all the packages, right? It stinks if you forget to do that and you're testing stuff out and there are errors and things don't work, and then you realize you forgot to pull in any new packages. So in this case, there weren't any new packages, but it's just a good habit to get into. So you can see we have our new files. Where's our, let's see. There we go. There's our app reducer. All right, so let's actually get to the testing. Here's our app, right? And we have addition, yay, subtraction, multiplication, division, right? Well, let's do some of these. So we'll do one, we'll get it right. I still never put in the being able to use the enter key, so I definitely need to do that. Need to quit forgetting that. Let's see. Cool. Let's just try this one. What is that? 27? I think so. Yay. Cool. All right. Which one of these do you think looks the best? I think I'll leave it on that. Whichever one looks the best. I'm not sure. I'll leave it on this pink for now, right? That's maybe like the least jarring on the eyes right now. Okay, so that looks good. It looks like everything works. I mean, I could probably get out the console and see we had no errors the whole time, which is awesome. Yeah, so what do y'all think? Are there any objections to merging this pull request? Okay, if anybody has any objections, let me know now within the next minute or so. Otherwise, let's merge this pull request. So I'm gonna give y'all just, like I said, probably just a minute or less to let me know if there's anything in this pull request that you think absolutely should not be merged. All right. Oh, we do have a question of why is it called hooks? I think it's like there's precedent set already, like in other frameworks, for having these like hooks into lifecycle methods and stuff. So I think that's why they went with hooks, right? So it's a familiar term for what they're doing. So it's not like React came up with the name hooks out of nowhere, right? There are hooks in like I used to do WordPress dev back in the day, and so like there are hooks in WordPress, right? So they it's like a familiar design pattern, I guess you'd call it. Nikki says that Visual Studio Code GitHub pull request extension is great for this. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I never used any of the like Git extension stuff before. Maybe I'll have to try that out. Creepy says, is Atom Code Editor good enough for the web? Yeah, I like Atom. Alright, so it looks like there are no objections to merging this pull request, so let's merge it. So first thing I'm going to do is go git merge master. So this is going to merge anything from master into this one. Now I already know that there's nothing that I've updated in master, but I like to do this to first see, like, have I updated anything in master since this pull request was submitted. So I merge it there. That way, if there are any merge conflicts or anything, if it really messes stuff up, I'm messing up the branch and not master. Right? Otherwise, if I were to do it the other way around and try to first merge this branch into master, I could potentially mess up my master branch. And if I were to need to make a change, like an emergency change, and push that out really quick, that could be bad, right? So this, in my mind, is much safer. Here, let me make this bigger so we can actually see what's going on. Okay, so everything's up to date, just like I assumed it would be. All right, now let's do a Git Checkout Master, and we'll do Git merge, and we'll merge the hooks. Yay! Okay, and I'm just always in the habit of doing that yarn, after we do anything like that, just to be sure. Okay, so now everything's merged in. That was an easy merge. Sometimes you have merge conflicts, and when that happens, you'll actually have to go into the files that have, let's say that the same line of code was edited, at the same time, right? Like somebody made the pull request, they edited their line, and then afterwards I did something on master where I edited the same line, and then I tried to merge. We'd have to decide whose edits are going to stay. So you would manually go in there and either get rid of completely of one of the edits or the other, or have a combination of the two. All right, so thankfully we didn't have to do that. If you stay on top of your pull requests and get them in there like as they come in, you can decrease the chance of having to deal with merge conflicts. Also, if you make sure that you recommend that when people do a pull request, they only change like very small things, that can help as well. Definitely. I don't think we have a contributing.md file yet. No, but you can explain it in there to like remind people, hey, make sure you have everything up to date, like frequently merge in what's going on in master into your PR. I even like to say like, hey, before you submit a pull request, do one last merge from master to make sure your stuff's up to date. And then the person doing the pull request handles any merge conflicts. And that can greatly increase your chances of getting your pull request merged, not just in this project, but in any other project. So it's kind of like the polite way to do a pull request. But all right, so that's cool, and we'll just to prove like everything still works. All right, here we go. It works, and let's just put in right, so that should give us, let's just like verify, right? We're not getting any more than 6, right? Hey, that's the right one. Okay, so it still works. And now, cool, so I have a few minutes left before I have to start doing work stuff. Let me double check my calendar really quick to just see exactly when my first meeting is. Okay. All right, we're good. So let me go back to the live chat and answer some, any of the remaining questions. Also, let me push this. I forgot to push this up to GitHub. So let's do git push. Okay, so now that we've pushed that, let's check out our repo. So I forgot about this. So look, it's already changed to say merged. So I don't have to come back in here and do anything. GitHub detects that I've merged these changes in, and it automatically says it's merged. So if we go to pull requests, now there's no more open ones, there's a closed one. And if we go back to our code, let's check contributors. There should be, yep. So now there are 2 contributors, right? And Chris is actually the number1 contributor on this repository right now. So congratulations on that. This is going by commits, right? So yeah, so if anybody wants to get on this contributors board, submit a pull request. Okay, so that's it for the code portion now. Let me finish up with the questions, and then I'll have to get to work. Sorry, I'm trying to find my place. Alright, Creepy says, how much can I really make as a web developer? Because I really love web developing and I want to be a front-end developer. Okay, that's a hard question to answer because it depends on where you live, like what part of the world or even what part of the country you live in. And there's a huge range of salary, right? Which is going to depend a lot upon like your years of experience, and your company and stuff. So I've seen jobs, people offering, even in the United States, offering as low as like $50,000 for a front end developer, right? And then I've seen jobs offering over $100,000 for developer. For front end developer, it's somewhat rare to be over $100,000 unless you're in a bigger city. If you kind of switch over to full stack or become a software engineer, those salaries can get higher than that, but it's quite a large range, salary range in the United States. Oh, Creepy says in India. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea what the salary range is in India, but I know we have a lot of viewers from India. So if anybody has any insight into that, please let Creepy know in the live chat. Niki says, how do you handle merge conflicts in your log file? I delete both and do a fresh install. Actually, that's a great idea to just do fresh install and delete. I never directly edit the lock file, and I recommend never directly editing your lock file. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's this yarn lock right here. So like this thing is just kind of like pretty crazy, right? You're not meant to directly edit this. This is created by Yarn based on your package JSON, and it keeps track of all the packages that are installed, all the node modules, and all the individual versions. So yeah, if there happens to be a conflict, I think Niki's advice is perfect. Just delete, do a fresh install. Let's see. Creepy says, but would I need a CS degree to be a web developer, and can I get higher chances in the future? In the United States, you definitely don't need a computer science degree. I don't know what it's like in India, though. So I don't want to give you advice there because I don't really have knowledge of that. Trollmaster says, web developer doesn't even need a brain these days. That is like so perfect for the name Trollmaster. So you're staying on brand there. HD Movies Pakistan says, dear sir, please send your email. You can reach out. My email is out there. I have a lot of contact info in the description of this video, so reach out to me on social media and stuff. Like my contact info for like every part of my life is out there and freely available online, so it's not hard to get. Trollmaster says, so a web developer is not a software engineer. All right, when it comes to titles like web developer, software engineer, front end, back end, they are so mixed up these days. Like from company to company, it's different. Those will be defined differently, right? So you could be labeled a front end developer at one job doing the same thing as a software engineer is doing at a different job, or a full stack engineer is doing a different job. It's really, so like there are companies that just don't understand the differences. So don't take titles like that seriously. Like let's say if you don't think you're a full stack, if you think you're just mostly front end, don't be afraid to apply to a full stack job or a software engineering job, because the titles really don't mean that much in terms of what you'll be doing at your job. At least that's been my experience. I applied for a lot of different jobs a few months ago and got a lot of interviews, and it was like every job had a different title, but they pretty much all were doing exactly the same thing. Music Life says, how to become the best coder without a degree. I would say code a little bit every day. Keep trying to code like actual websites and learn. That's the best thing, right? Like, people with a computer science degree don't necessarily code like real things every day, right? So if you code, somebody goes to school for 4 years for a computer science degree, but you code every day for 4 years, like real projects, you both come out, you're going to have a really good portfolio and you're going to have a lot of real world experience. You probably will be a better coder at that point, given everything else being equal, right? Like, let's say you both have the same IQ and all that, right? So there's actually coding is the best way to become better at coding, right? Practice. Just keep practicing. And that's what Creepy said, practice in online courses. Yeah, for sure. Jacob Evans says, I don't have a computer science degree and I work as a React developer at Discover. See, that's awesome. Yeah, like, I do not have a computer science degree. Now, I have a business degree, so I have a college degree, but I don't have a computer science degree. And I'm a senior software engineer for Dick's Sporting Goods. So I do React development for React Native development for them right now. Music Life says, how to become a developer and how to earn money online. Well, I think that goes along with your earlier question. Like, just take online courses and practice. HD Movies Pakistan says, okay, sir, thanks. Yeah, so let me know. If you really need to get a hold of me for something, just send me a message on probably Twitter would be the best way. Um, yeah, that would probably be the best. Let's see. Um, let's see. Trollmaster, I just deleted that message. It wasn't like too bad, but I want to keep this safe for children, so um, that's just to let you know why I deleted that one. All right, Amandal Jallo. I'm sorry, I probably messed up the pronunciation of your name. Says, I'm trying to learn advanced React and Redux. Any recommendations, tutorials, books, etc.? Um, Let me think. What did I see? Um, there are some advanced React training courses. I think it's called. There's a course called Advanced React Training. So try to search for that. Uh, I believe there are like online courses that you can do. So I would, yeah, definitely check that out. I'm mad. Sorry, I lost my place. Moshiko says, how do you keep motivated with programming? Um, I really like it, so it's not that hard to stay motivated. And I don't know, there's just like no. I'm gonna say, like, there's no choice but to not be motivated. Really, like, if you, I work full time, I have a family, I have bills to pay. Like, I do the work, right, and I like the work. So it's like, even if I start to get like where I'm not motivated, I still have to go in and do the work every day. And once I start to program, I get into it, I get motivated. So it's not hard for me, I guess. But like, what really motivates me, like working with new stuff, working on like cool projects, like that is kind of motivating. Um, so learning new things motivates me. Creepy says, is it necessary for a full stack developer to learn other backend languages than JavaScript, like PHP or Go? It's not necessary unless the job that you want says it's necessary, right? So much of what you're going to learn is going to be dependent on what you have to learn to do whatever you're getting paid to do. W3 Develop says, should I learn JavaScript, PHP with Python simultaneously as my first language? I don't know why you would want to learn PHP and Python simultaneously. They're both backend languages. Unless there's a good reason, I don't know. I don't know why you would need to learn them both. You certainly could, though. Um, I mean, JavaScript with one of those other languages makes sense if you want to just do JavaScript front end and pair them with a Python or PHP backend. Um, there's no reason why you couldn't do it. It's just I don't understand that particular combination. Suraj says, nowadays, which language is used more for development, for game and webs? Okay, so JavaScript is where it's at for web development, no doubt. For game development, that's a whole different story. I don't know that much about game development, so I'm gonna have to defer. If anybody else knows more about game development, then you know, please let us know. But you can definitely make web games with JavaScript, but like serious game development, like the games that are making millions of dollars, like to be honest with you, I have no idea what programming languages or frameworks they're using. I hear like Unity. Unity, I know, is a tool, I guess, that a lot of games use. I don't know what the underlying language though is. Ling Yeni TV says, "Can you share how much you earn as a developer for Dix?" I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what Dick's Sporting Goods, what their opinion is on sharing salary stuff. So in general, I think sharing salaries is a good thing, but seeing as how I just started out there, I don't want to do anything that they would not like right away. So um, maybe at some point I'll share that, but maybe just not right now. Like I want to be a little bit more careful about it right now. So um, hopefully, hopefully you understand. All right, I think I've gotten through all the questions, and that's good because I definitely have to get to my job, my regular job now. Thank you all so much for watching. Had a lot of good questions, so I love that, and I will be back next week, probably Wednesday morning of next week. I'm still hoping to do something, either like a live stream or a video about GraphQL on my channel. The link to my personal channel is in the description. Just haven't had time, so maybe this weekend will be the weekend that I get to that. So if you're interested in that, be looking out for that. Um, Otherwise, yeah, thanks again for watching and for all your help. A big thank you to Chris for the amazing pull request. And yeah, so I'll see you next week and have a great weekend.